There's a lot of misconceptions about how to start a trucking company, and today, man, we're going to attempt to clear those misconceptions up and get you guys started on the true path to, owning a trucking company, man, and, staking your claim in the gold rush that's going on in this trucking industry right now. Making money as an owner-operator is not really that hard to do. The hard part is actually finding an avenue to actually make that money. There's many ways to go about doing it. There's only a couple of ways that I know of where if you were to apply these two principles that I know of, if you were to apply them in the right way, you can make enough money to, pretty much last literally a lifetime, and your children's lifetime, and your grandchildren's lifetime. You can basically build a legacy with the transportation industry. There's a lot of ideas floating around, all over YouTube, internet, and I hear a lot of ideas, I don't knock them. In a lot of ways, they work for that person who's doing it. Everybody have different levels of revenue that they want to make. But me, myself, if I'm going to do it, I like to do it in a way where everybody around me will benefit. You see a lot of ideas floating around, but a lot of guys, you hear them talking about the idea, but later on, you kind of see them kind of slipping off into the self-congratulating or self-gratitude type of vision, as far as what to do. That's something I find quite disturbing, because, you've got this platform and to share your ideas, but all of a sudden I start hearing about how, some guy, how he's amassed enough money to buy an Escalade for cash, or how he's got a vacation home, or some guys, they talk about how they have enough money to the point where trucking is pretty much a recreational activity for them. I do this for a living. This is my living. When I'm on the internet looking at a video and it talks about how to make it in trucking and how to make dollars in trucking, I'm sorry guys, I don't want to get a monologue about how great their life is and how carefree their life is, and a whole slew of motivational slogans and speeches, and you can only talk about that stuff for so many times before it starts sounding pretty much humdrum and run of the mill, and me as a grown man, and I'm sure you guys also too, there's only so many motivational speeches you can hear. Usually I know when I play football, when the coach gave a motivational speech, within minutes we were on the field like pounding it out right away. There was no wasting time after that speech was done. And usually a motivational speech is meant to, give everybody a charge and make them go to action. So guys, with me saying that was my short little motivational speech. Now it's time to give you guys the information, and so you guys can pound it out on the field. What I'm going to talk about today is starting a small fleet. This is not no one truck owner-operator deal. I'm not talking about signing on with a trucking company. There's nothing wrong with that path if you want to take it. But in my humble opinion, it is it's a losing way to go. You'll lose the shirt off your back if you go that way, for the simple fact that when you sign on to a trucking company as an owner operator or lease purchase driver, you are essentially going up against your direct competition. These guys are, I don't care if they have 1,000 trucks, you going up against them with one truck, they very well know you can amass a whole bunch of trucks by plugging into the right shipper or manufacturer freight, the same as they did a long time ago before they got those 1,000 trucks. Every trucking company started out with 1 or 2 trucks, believe it or not. JB Hunt, Swift, all of them. And they very well know how fast you can amass trucks, especially in today's world where financing is fairly easy to come by. Once somebody shows you how to do it the right way, they know that you can surpass them at any given moment. And they need to keep their methods of getting freight, they need to keep them secret. They are trade secrets. And the last thing they want you to do is figuring everything out. That's why usually when you see owner-operators sign on to trucking companies, they're not making nearly as much as a guy who has all the tools in his toolbox without the help of a trucking company. Also, with that being said, once again, guys, let's get started on this. This is gonna be your motivational talk, but this motivational talk has teeth attached to it. As soon as this video is done, you can take what I've taught you and go out and immediately start a truck fleet. Start with 2 trucks and build it up to 5 or 10 or 100 or 200, however big you want to get. This right here is the launch pad for small fleet. So let's go, guys. There are 2 principles that I follow in truck ownership. And the number 1 is control the paper. When you control the paper, it means you control all the negotiations with shippers and manufacturers. You control the engagement, meaning you approach them when you know you have a sufficient number of trucks, and that number for me is 5 and up. You pretty much control what rate you're going to get. You also control the terms of the contract, meaning whenever they pass the contract over to you, you do not have to agree with everything they have in the contract. You have a strategic advantage because they're in the business of warehousing and manufacturing. They're not in the business of transportation and logistics. So they need you probably as much as you need them. So always remember, principle number 1, control the paper. If you control the paper, you pretty much control exactly what you're going to make. The number 2 principle I'd like to follow is to control the traffic lane. And that means, see, when you hire a truck onto a trucking company as owner operator, you pretty much go where they tell you to go. Meaning they'll send you on a lane that into an area of the country you probably don't want to go, and probably send you a distance that you're not willing to go had it been up to you yourself. That's the number 2 principle, is controlling your traffic lane. When you negotiate a contract with a shipper or manufacturer, they'll give you lanes to run. If you don't want to run the lane, you pretty much don't have to. You can bid on the lane. So say you don't like going to New York, you don't have to go there. If you want to run cross country, you can run cross country. If you want to run, like with me, I'm in California. If I want to run LA to Stockton, I can run that. I can run the I-5 corridor. That means anything on the I-5 between LA and Seattle, I can run that if I want. If I just want to run around town, I can do that. If I want to run to Vegas and back, I can do that. It really is up to you which lane you run. If you see one as being profitable, then you can pretty much bid on that lane, and 9 times out of 10 you'll get it, because more than likely there won't be too many people bidding against you. So guys, remember, the 2 principles is control the paperwork and control your traffic lanes. Some of the first things you have to do, you have to get a corporation set up. It's not a very hard thing to do. It's not very difficult. You basically, you can go with several companies just pretty much pick the one that you're comfortable with. I'm not going to provide no list because there's just too many of them out there. They pretty much do the same thing. Just go ahead, guys, and get the incorporation, get it started up. A lot of people kind of think that it's an option, but when you're owner operator, it pretty much is, because you're an owner operator with one truck. But when you're dealing with 5 trucks or more, you have to. It is a standard requirement, because especially when you're dealing with shippers and manufacturers, if they find you're not incorporated, they simply just won't deal with you. There might be some that'll deal with you, but they're sketchy at best. But if you want the cream of the crop, shippers and manufacturers, you want to get yourself incorporated. And the next step after that, you want to get your bank account set up. It's very simple. It's just like opening a bank account for yourself, except you'll have your business name, corporation, and you'll have an EIN, which comes to the next one. You have to get an EIN number. I have links on my website, and it'll tell you pretty much exactly how to go about doing that. The next one is you want to get your business address. You want to get a business phone. You want to apply for Dun & Bradstreet. Get your Dun & Bradstreet number. Once you apply for it online, it should take them from 1 to 4 weeks to get your number. And one thing you want to keep in mind when you get a Dun's number, Dun & Bradstreet, they'll try to sell you other products that you really don't need. A Dun & Bradstreet number is basically free, but they'll try to, they put some high pressure tactics on you and try to get you, probably try to get a little more money out of you under the premise that they can expedite getting your number to you a lot faster. But it's worth it to wait the 4 weeks. So wait that 4 weeks and get your number. After you get a bank account and everything set up, and you have your DUNS number, you can start applying for what's called Net 30 vendors, and this will help you establish credit, business credit. Business credit is very important when it comes to when you start looking for shipper direct freight. The first thing they're going to do, they're going to check your credit rating, and if it's bad, then your chances of getting freight would be slim to none.